Hi, I'm Matt Walker, and in this video I'm going to show you how to use Management Studio to take your end user communications to the next level. One of the great features within Management Studio is its ability to create email campaigns. This could be a series of 4 or 5 emails that you send as part of a Windows 11 migration, or it could be routine comms that you send as part of your BAU process. In fact, if you've received a newsletter from us recently, that was created and sent in Management Studio. So I'm just going to choose a user here. We can select multiple users if we want, but I'm going to send an email inviting me to complete a survey. You'll notice we can schedule these emails to go at a later time, and if we are sending to multiple users, we can say how many emails should be going out per hour. But for the moment, I'm just going to turn these off. If I switch over to our email queue, we can see what time the email is scheduled to send and a little bit more information about the email, such as who it's going to and the subject. So our email's been sent, and you'll see that we've got all the branding. We've got a logo, we've got the fonts, we've got the custom colours, and we've also integrated information about the user from the Management Studio database. And what's great about this is you can create as many emails as you like, and they can also be automated, meaning that users get immediate feedback from actions or maybe a particular schedule, and it really improves the end user experience. Email is also great for collecting user feedback. You might find over time that users move around an organisation, they change roles and locations, and that information isn't captured anywhere. Well, just down at the bottom here, we've got a link to complete a survey, and this particular form allows users to update the information that we hold about them. Now, worst case, if we've got the wrong location or department, we could be sending hardware or engineering resource to entirely the wrong place. So let's just quickly go through this. I'm going to add an office of at risk with here. And for department, I'm going to choose architects. We'll scroll down here, sign it, and submit this. This information goes straight back into the Management Studio database, but it's a great way of ensuring that the information that we hold about our users is relevant and accurate. There'll be several occasions where you need to use the combination of email and surveys to communicate with your end users. One example is user acceptance testing, and I'll quickly show you how we manage that within Management Studio. So I've opened an application, and if I switch to app testing, I can start the test sign-off wizard. Here we can choose the test type, and you can have multiple tests. Maybe you're testing against a web platform, mobile device, or even you want to manage your QA through this. This is the place that you do it. Now I want to select the user, in which case I've already got myself assigned to this, and the department that this is going to be tested against. I can select a device from the list or add a hostname, and we'll just send that. As before, we've got the ability to change the email schedule, but we'll just send that immediately. Now, while we're waiting for that email to arrive, let me show you some of the other options we've got in terms of manually sending the email. If you look just up at the top, you can see we can send a sign-off email, and that's the process that we've just gone through. The other options are sending a reminder email, which we'll do automatically anyway, but you can do this manually too. We can manually send a completion email, an update, and a cancellation if we decide the test is no longer required. So our email has arrived, and you'll notice that it's fully branded, but we've also included a calendar invite to cover the testing window and a link to the remote workstation that we want our tester to use. But the important thing is just down here, we now have a link to our survey. And as before, we can go through this and just add a little bit of information about our test, sign it off, and that information goes directly back into Management Studio. So if we just click reload, we can see the status of the test, when it was completed, and also if you look in the attachments, we can actually see the results that the user provided, which can also be mined using the data mining tool. But there's one other area that I want to show you now that is incredibly useful, and that's when it's time to schedule your user's upgrade slot. Now, traditionally, this is quite a labour-intensive process. You'll often have a team of people working on contacting your end users, coordinating diaries, making sure engineering resources are in the right place, dealing with any rescheduling or cancellations that happen, and it can be a logistical and an administrative challenge. We simplify this by using deployment units within Management Studio. This is a construct that allows you to define your scheduling window and easily communicate with your users to get them booked in. So let's take a quick look at that now. I'm just going to add my user account to a deployment unit while we're in this particular section. And it's as simple as that. So now we'll move across to the deployment units. And I'll open up the deployment unit that we've just added my account into. So first off, let's take a look at the schedule. You'll see we've got a nice grid down the bottom, kind of like a calendar, that shows you the utilization for each particular day that we're looking at within this deployment unit. Green means that the slots are fully utilized. We want to make sure that our engineering resource isn't having any downtime, and red means that we still have availability and we need to move users into there. You'll also notice at the top we've got our general times, which have come from a global schedule, but we can override these with local values if we need to. So let's send the email that contains the self-booking information to my user account. So you'll see I don't actually have a date allocated to my account, but if I right click, you'll see email options that are very similar to the other screens that you've already seen. Some of these are automatic, so things like the reminder email, completion email, they will go out on a defined schedule, but we can override that and do that manually. For the time being, I'm just going to send a request email to my user. And as before, we'll turn off the scheduling and send this immediately. So here's our email. Should be no surprises here. It's fully branded. We've got our custom content from the Management Studio database, and most importantly, a link to book a self-schedule slot. When I click that, I've got a similar view to that we had in the console. I can see the days and the slots that we've got available. So if I choose the 3 till 5 PM slot on Wednesday the 18th, I just click that, confirm, and that's it. Our slot is booked. How easy is that? And a user has also received an email confirming that that slot has been booked, which just helps to inform them and keep them up to date as we go through the process. So let's jump back into Management Studio. I'm going to search for my account and we'll see that the status has changed to scheduled, and we can also see the time and date of migration. Now this is a lot easier than having a team of people sending emails, managing telephone calls, and trying to coordinate diaries. And what's more, we can take this and automate it. So let's say, for example, a user's apps are now ready and in production. We can move them into a different process and automatically send them the email that invites them to book their migration slot. So these are just some of the ways that we can interact with end users and your team using Management Studio. It's incredibly easy to create fully branded emails. We can track those as they go through the process and ultimately significantly reduce the overhead and administration involved in managing that communication process. If you found this useful, don't forget to sign up to our newsletter on the website to be informed of when we make new videos just like this. Thanks for watching.